What is up, guys? It's Val from IMY Motors. Welcome back to another video of the Scottish Car Dealer Diaries. And I think this will be the last episode we're going to film in these premises, because today we've got the keys to our new yard. We're moving over there over the next couple of days. And there'll be a completely separate video on that coming on the channel, so make sure you subscribe to stay up to date. But if you read the video title, you'll know that today's video is all about these C2B platforms, so consumer to business platforms, where consumers sell their cars to businesses, i.e. dealers and traders like me and other businesses. And if you've seen my previous video, you know we've had a bit of bother with a couple of cars that we bought and also looking to buy. And in the news as well, Motorway, probably the biggest platform, the biggest player in the space, have decided to not only charge the dealer, because they always charge the dealer money for buying the cars, but also they're now charging the customer for selling the cars. So basically, yeah, I just wanted to make a video highlighting maybe some of the unfairness of these big companies, and also how they're changing expectations of customers, because I feel like it's really changing what customers are coming to expect from part exchange prices, from the selling process, from even listing a car for sale. So yeah, let's get into the video. I'll give you some examples of what we've faced and also give you some thoughts on what I think needs to change. So I think it's important to start off the video by actually speaking about how these platforms work, because if you've never used them, or if you're just sort of interested in the motor trade and not in the motor trade, you may be not aware how it actually works. So these platforms like Motorway, like CarWow, there's a few other smaller ones out there. The way that they work is that they get the customer with the car they're looking to sell to upload the car to their portal. They'll get them to take some photographs of the car. They get the customer to highlight any damage that the customer wants to highlight, and if there's any mechanical problems that the customer wants to highlight. They then give a price. So then Motorway or CarWow give it an estimated guide price of what they think that car can be bought for by a trader. Now, it's important to sort of highlight that phrase that it can be bought. So it's not a guaranteed price. It's these platforms, and I think it's a quite big misconception potentially out there with people that have seen Motorway or seen these services. They think it's a bit like We Buy Any Car, where that price is basically the price that the company, i.e. Motorway or CarWow, are given, and then if there's any damage or whatever, it gets taken off. That's not the case. So here, basically, these companies essentially say, we think a dealer is going to pay X amount, and a lot of the time, this is how they get the business, how they get people to essentially not part exchange their cars when they're buying a new car, or sell it to competitors like We Buy Any Car or such like, is that they put it on the higher side. So a lot of the time, these cars are priced towards the higher end of cap clean, sometimes a little bit higher as well, because, well, twofold. One, because Motorway and CarWow, and I'm kind of all lumping all these companies in one big one big lump here. They obviously want to attract the customer. They make their money. So these companies make their money not on the metal of the car. They make it, well, initially with Motorway, they made it on the admin fee that the dealer paid buying that car, and now Motorway going, so double dipping again. They actually now charge an admin fee for the seller as well. But that's how they make the money. So they don't actually really care what you're buying or selling. They just want that transaction to go through. Therefore, these prices are then, I would say, artificially inflated. You can call it maybe the overpromising, but that's probably not for me to say, because again, I sort of deal in a certain range of car prices, the sub 5k retail. So I don't want to speak about the higher end of the market, but certainly in this sub 5k retail, most of the stuff that I see is virgin and cap clean and above, especially here in the Northeast. But anyway, the reason why it's attractive to dealers, why would you overpay for these cars, is twofold. One, you get access to stock directly from the consumer, so they're not auctions, they're not sort of trade disposals or anything, so you can get buy directly from the consumer, and you can appraise the car before you pay for the car. And I think that's probably the main advantage of using these platforms over auctions, is that you can go appraise the car and fundamentally make that call if you're going to buy that particular piece of stock or not. So for those who've seen the previous video, I do apologise. I'm going to go into a story time that you probably know the story already, but this is about a Vauxhall Corsa that we won, a 2009 Corsa Automatic. And I should preface with that phrase I just said, we won. Although this is a blind auction, when the auction ends, there is no onus on the customer to actually accept that bid or go through with that sale. So yeah, it's more like a guide more than anything that you get in that car. But anyway, so we got this car, got the details for this guy. It took a couple of days to accept that price that we got it at. But anyway, we went out to the car. On paper, and by that I mean on the listing, it was all green, no mechanical issues, nothing. No, it looks really good. So we were like, this is going to be a good car. Go to see the guy again. We would do a walk around, go for a drive with a chap sitting in. Seems to be okay. But also we haven't done an in-depth look yet. Ask him, like I always do, any issues that you know? Nope, no issues. Great car. Then we come back from test drive, open up the bonnet, and then I'll put the pictures, if I still have them, on screen just now, so you can see basically of the coolant leak, the expansion cap filling. So yeah, essentially there's a massive coolant leak. There's probably a head gasket issue, because we had a very similar issue on a previous Corsa with coolant. But anyway, regardless of what the issue is, this is not as described. The car is being sold as mechanically green, mechanically sound, no issues whatsoever. On top of actually those few cosmetic issues that weren't mentioned on the listing either. But anyway, yeah, like this is a car. I mean, it's 2009 Corsa automatic. The potential for this build to be crazy high. We basically walk away from the deal. Have no problems walking away from the deal because at this point where money is important for good stock that moves quickly. I don't want money tied up in a car that we need to diagnose and fix, which is fair enough. I then email Motorway, as you're supposed to cancel the sale. I then upload the relevant photos and video of the car running, which hopefully I'll overlay into this video as well. And basically, yeah, the deal's cancelled, but it's counting against me towards my cancellation rate. Which is annoying because basically if you cancel too many deals, there's potential for you to be kicked off the platform or what have you. And I kind of agree with that. Dealers shouldn't be bidding on cars and then trying to chip down the customer, because I think that just gives dealers a bad name, defeats the purpose of the platform. But when there's a valid reason, it seems to me that there's no recourse for the dealer other than to either cancel it and get it counted against them, or, where's the recourse on the customer, for listing it wrong? And again, we'll have to give the customer the benefit of the doubt. Obviously, that they're not a mechanic, they're not this, I don't think. But yeah, this whole system works on honesty, right? This in good faith. You rely on a customer putting the car up for sale in good faith. Dealers bidding it in good faith. And I think that's the way for it to work. And unfortunately, my second part of the story is when customers list cars not in good faith, like this Ford Fiesta here, which we got in now about 3 weeks ago, and we'll have to decide what we're doing with this car. So let's have a quick look at this car. I'll show you around in a bit more detail, because on the surface, I'm actually looking at the stats of the car. This is actually a really, really nice example. It's Ford Fiesta, not the EcoBoost. It's the 1.4 engine. I mean, it's not as good as 1.25, but still, it's 5-door, more in demand model. 60. Well, this car's got 64,000 miles. Was listed with 60,000 miles, but for 2012, that's good. But yeah, let's have a look at this car in a bit more detail. So here is the culprit, and you can see, I mean, it's a 2012, a couple of cosmetic bits that were actually mentioned on here, but round the actual car, it's actually pretty decent. It was listed with 61,000 miles. However, if we come round, I can't wait to get the new premises so we don't so tight for space. Come round and look at here. it is 64,500 miles on the clock. Again, not the end of the world, but sets the tone for the conversation about this car. The main reason we actually went for this car was because of the mileage. Yeah, it was a couple thousand out, not the end of the world, but service history seemed good. MOT history seemed good as well. There was an MOT done, well, on paper about 4 or 5 thousand miles before. In real life, it's about 8,000 miles before, and there was, I think, an advisory for subframe corroded, but not seriously weakened. I think that was the only advisory, and again, the MOT history looks really, really good. So we took the car out for a drive. The only thing that we could see wrong with the car, it needed a wheel bearing. You could hear the wheel bearing, but again, not the end of the world. So yeah, we did the deal. I personally don't really like chipping people that much for cars, and that's probably on me. I probably need to learn to overcome that, because at the end of the day, this is a business transaction, and but that's by the by. Got the deal, got the car back, I should say, to the garage. Took it to the MOT guys, and yeah, I'll put up the fail list on screen just now. Oh, and Jesus Christ. Basically, yeah, it's not worth us keeping this car at all, even doing the work, even in the new place we're going to have with our own in-house prep. And what the guy said to me, by the guy I mean like the RMOT tester, basically said that, yeah, that previous MOT, yeah, that's not real. That's not, a car doesn't go from what it is right now to what it was there over even 10-15,000 miles, because we actually MOT'd a couple of months early as well, so it's less than a year. I think it was like eight months, which again puts a bit of a dampener on things, especially when we're in the current premises where we are, where space is limited, where funds for stock is important. Make sure that we're being utilised correctly. But yeah, that's kind of the downside there, because yeah, you get the opportunity to inspect the car before you give the money over, but all you can really do is your usual checks. You can't put the car on a ramp or whatever, and yeah, it is what it is. It's the name of the game. But the that platform, the way that these platforms are set up, it's very, very easy for basically customers to try and pull the wool over dealers' eyes. And for these platforms, there's no real onus on them. There's no real, why do they, why would they go out the way to make it harder for the customer to sell their car by putting extra checks or whatever they can do, when they don't really care about the product that they're selling, because essentially they're just a middleman. And I don't want to sound too negative about it, but end of the day, we're a small business, and there's multiple other cases, and in dealer groups, there's people speaking about similar situations. And on the flip side, if you do then cancel, if you end up seeing an issue with the car and you cancel, it's counted against you. So that's why a lot of dealers now are trying to source their own stock, and there's people trying to set their own sort of platforms, and other dealers paying for adverts to say that they're buying in stock, because it's end of the stock you can buy directly from the consumer, means you can pay the best price. And by best price, I mean not only just for the business for yourself, but also to the customer. Because if we take away the middleman, for example, this car, I think I paid 1,200 quid for the car, plus a couple £100 to motorway. Let's say it's a good car and it was going direct to the customer, I could have paid an extra, little bit to the customer, so they get a better deal as well, and we get a better deal, and we can appraise the cars, and we're not penalised for it. So, that's kind of where we're at. So, going forward, we're going to be trying and source more cars directly from the customer, because at the end of the day, whichever way you go about it, there's always going to be an element of risk. This is the name of the business. That's what I'm not speaking about. But it's when there's other entities involved in transactions that, in my eyes, are built to essentially negate any of the concerns that a dealer might have, and to work to essentially get more business. And by getting more business, it involves promising higher prices to customers, allowing them to game the system. and fundamentally altering the car buying journey for customers. Because when I worked at Main Dealer, now over a year ago now, um, it was a bit of a pain to have these sort of companies come in and make these promises to customers, saying, you know, you can get X amount for your car, and we would look at the pricing, and it's like 200-300 quid over cap clean, and the car's not clean at all. But listen, that's the name of the game. I just thought I'd make this video just to, again, give you guys a little bit of an insight into what's going on with these platforms. Let me know if you guys got any experience of these platforms, what you think the solution is. Like I said at the start of the video, we're moving premises very soon. There'll be a video about the new premises coming over the next couple of days as well. So, like I said, subscribe to stay up to date. But thanks for watching this video. A lot more videos to come, a lot more positive videos. For some reason, the last couple of videos have been a little bit negative. It's not all that bad. I mean, moving to new premises, for goodness sake. But yeah, thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next video.